We were like fully on like onboarding people in person at one point. The remote orientations have been newer the last couple of years. So we developed this in response to having to switch to virtual pretty quickly. So we wanted to do like we originally did system setup, like walking somebody through in orientation class, setting up their email signature, kind of sharing our screen with them along each process, navigating teams, all that good stuff. So I really just detailed this scavenger hunt as if I was leading it in person. So walking them step by step on like how to access Outlook, how to set up their email signature. So just kind of walking people through like the basic systems that we use. And DMG Help is one of them. Just scroll down here and then okay, so this is our DMG Help section. It gets them to go and download and install the VisualSP browser extension. Gives them a few tips and tricks, screenshots to help them along the way. And we call our Visual Help DMG Help or VisualSP DMG Help. So that's our little internal branding there. So this is kind of what we show them. They should be seeing once they've downloaded and installed that browser extension. And then we give them questions that they go into DMG Help and search for. So they, look at key terms, enter those into DMG Help, and then write out the answers in this. So we have different versions of this. If they're in person, we print this out and work through it with them as a group. Natalie sits in those as well. So they're more so like free time for them to work with the other people at their tables and kind of get this information filled out together. But then we also send an email to the remote employees, and they can type into this and send it back to us in an email. And like the bottom of this packet will say like to email the completed packet to us so we can verify their answers if they have any questions or help needed. And that will again like help us. We've redone some of these questions to kind of match the feedback that we've received for them. Like if something's too hard to find, we'll either make it easier to find in DMG Help or VisualSP, or we'll like update the question so it's more clear in the scavenger hunt. So yeah.
I love this idea.
Thank you.
It's not only covering like all the applause. I saw the hearts coming earlier when you were first showing it and everything. This is a beautiful idea because it's all those things you would normally need to cover in orientation and onboarding with somebody, but it's also covering how do people find answers later, right? Yeah, that's such a hard thing for people. Like somebody mentioned earlier, it was all the stuff to absorb at the beginning. You never absorb all of it, right?
Right.
But this is such a creative way to engage them and get them used to where to find the answers later. A great way to leverage the help panel, to help with this stuff. Beautiful.
Yeah, and if I could just add something in here too, with our in-person people, as we've moved to using the Ask Vic extension, it was a really nice way to kind of double check that they were installing the right extension. And we even had like a banner set up so I could say, okay, go to our learning management system. And then if you see this banner, okay, we know you're good. Perfect. And it's just like a nice way to introduce them to the tool and make sure it's working for at least our in-person people. And then also, if we're getting the answers from our virtual people, we know it's working for them as well.
Good point. That's a challenge for a lot of organizations, onboarding people in the remote world, whether that's still because of COVID in your area and your location, or even if it's just because the world has now changed, right? And it's just so much more common now. It poses challenges. We hear that from lots of people. Difficult to push things like the help system out to people automatically. Difficult to verify what they have and what they don't. This kind of approach solves those problems. Love it.
Yep.
Thank you.
What's been your feedback like from the people going through it?
They really like it, which is good because it is lengthy. I mean, there's a lot to cover, right? So setting up their email signature, that was honestly one of the most difficult things that we've seen just because of how our signature is set up. But they really like it, especially for people that haven't used, the Microsoft 365 suite of tools before. Just kind of takes it from like ground zero. Because I don't ever want to assume that anybody like knows, anything. Not like that sounds weird the way I said it, but like I just don't want to assume what people know.
Right.
Because then you miss out on, you know, teaching them something new, and I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable by not knowing something. I don't expect anyone to. So this is a really good resource for us that we found. And some people, if they are familiar with Microsoft 365, they can breeze right through it. So yeah, we've had some pretty good success with it.